Hi teachers, welcome to Values Ed Majorship Enhancement Drills, and this is set 5. Again, you can download the PDF format of this set so you can print it if you wish. However, if you want to save some papers, you can just do it online. Now, to maximize or optimize the benefit of this drill, I encourage you to answer first the questions in this set. And then after you finish answering the questions, come back here and check your answers. The rationalizations are provided, as I have said, so that you may enhance your understanding of each item. So if you have not yet answered the questions, so please pause this video and come back here later once you are done answering the questions. Okay, however, if you are already done answering the questions, so go ahead, you may proceed and check your answers and internalize and understand the rationale of each item. And by the way, this set is from the previous actual LET exam, so don't get confused when you see several questions repeated. That's normal, and you just have to be consistent with your answer in case you are confident with your answers. However, if you don't know the answer, you can risk and try different answers in the repeated question, so you can get at least one or two correct answers. So don't panic when you see some awkward questions, grammatical errors, typo errors, and some nonsense questions or incomplete, seemingly incomplete because they are normal in the actual board exam. So just make the sense out of it. Alright, so let's begin. So this is set 5 of our Values Ed Majorship Enhancement Drills. And our goal is, of course, say that loudly to top the board exam. Say that every morning until you get to the day of the board exam. Okay? So let's begin. This is part 1 of set 5. Number 1. Which of the following is not a correct statement of freedom and responsibility? Letter A, exercise of true freedom is never without respect for others. Letter B, freedom is a gift from God who is limitless. Therefore, it is limitless. Letter C, the greater freedom a person has, the greater is his or her responsibility. And letter D, the person's free will is actually deciding to choose the will of God. And your answer here should be letter B. Freedom is a gift from God who is limitless. Therefore, it is limitless. Well, while freedom is indeed a gift, it is not limitless because it comes with responsibility. Magkakambal yun. So, ibig sabihin, true freedom respects others' rights and considers the consequences of our actions. So, yung letter A, true freedom is intertwined with respect for others. Yung option C, greater freedom does mean greater responsibility, reflecting maturity and accountability. Yung letter D naman, free will aligns with making morally good decisions, so usually seen as following God's will. So number 1 is letter B. Number 2. Human dignity is the overarching value of the Values Education program of the Department of Education, which act is in accordance with human dignity. Letter A, giving alms to the poor and the needy. Letter B, protecting the basic rights of the people, especially the underprivileged. Letter C, respecting only those we know. And letter D, expressing our freedom without limit. So your answer here should be letter B, protecting the basic rights of the people, especially the underprivileged. Ang human dignity involves ensuring that every person's rights are respected and protected, especially for the vulnerable. Yung mga hindi kayang protektahan ang kanilang sarili, vulnerable, those in the margin or laylayan na sinasabi natin. Marginalized people, nasa laylayan. Ang option A, giving alms, is charitable but it doesn't address systematic issues. Yung letter C naman, respecting only those we know excludes others. So, this is very unlikely. And letter D, unlimited freedom can harm dignity by ignoring consequences. So, number 2 is letter B. Number 3, which illustrates the statement, the end does not justify the means. Letter A teacher who collects donations from the students in order to support cleanliness and beautification project of the room. Letter B, a student studies very hard for the examination in order to pass the course. Letter C, a teacher and guidance counselor accept bribery to finance a very important project of the school. And letter D, a teacher pursues graduate education in order to be promoted. So your answer here should be letter C. A teacher and guidance counselor accept bribery to finance a very important project of the school. So, oo, maganda yung project. It's very important. But using bribery, this is an unethical method. So, it makes the action unjustifiable. Hindi katanggap-tanggap. So, that's why we say the end does not justify the means. Hindi ibig sabihin na maganda yung hangarin, pero pangit yung means or yung paraan ng pag-achieve ng hangarin na yun, ay pwede na. So, no. So, sa ethics, we say the end does not justify the means. Yung A, collecting donations, it's openly ethical. This is ethical. B and D, both examples involve moral and acceptable actions to achieve goal. Okay? So, number 3 is letter C. Number 4, the immutability of values allows values education teacher to do the following except 1, which is the exception. Letter A, to change teaching strategies to effectively deliver subjective value concepts. Letter B, to teach values based on the universal and absolute principle. Letter C, to teach values to children according to changing concepts of values. And letter D, to direct the students to emulate Filipino values. Your answer here should be to teach values to children according to changing concepts of values. Kasi, pag sinabing immutability of values means ang values like honesty and respect, they remain constant over time, hindi siya nagbabago. That's what we mean by immutable, unchanging, ano? So, teaching, when we teach shifting or changing concepts, it contradicts this principle. Nagiging mutable na siya. So, the opposite of immutable is immutable. The opposite is mutable. No? A, B, and D, these align with immutable and universal principles. So, number 4 is letter C. Number 5. Which is best to do to realize one's potential and become the best of what he or she is? Letter A, enhance one's strengths and weaknesses. Letter B, be confident of one's strengths, accept and improve on one's weaknesses. Letter C, accept one's strengths and weaknesses. And letter D, discover one's strengths and weaknesses. So, number 5, your answer should be confident of one's strengths, accept and improve on one's weaknesses. So, confidence and growth mindset lead to self-improvement and potential realization of your, whatever potentials you have. Yung option A, enhancing strengths and weaknesses, lacks focus on confidence. Yung letter C and letter D naman, acceptance alone doesn't drive growth. So, yung B ang kompleto. So, number 5 is letter B. Number 6, what are the controlling factors in values education that enable a human person to discipline himself or herself and uphold universal truths? Number 1, will. Number 2, feelings. Number 3, emotions. And number 4, intellect. Okay, here are the options. Letter A, 1 and 3. Letter B, 1 and 2. Letter C, 1 and 4. And letter D, 3 and 4. And your answer here should be letter C, 1 and 4, will and intellect. Will and intellect guide rational decisions and self-discipline, which are crucial in values education. Okay? Yung iba ay confusing. So, yung 2 and 3, feelings and emotions alone, lack rationality for consistent discipline. So, number 6, letter C. Number 7, which of the following is a logical consequence of this statement? The person is endowed with faculties for optimum development. Letter A. The school and the home make or break the development of a person. Letter B. There is not much one can do if he or she is not gifted with intelligence. Letter C. The person's responsibility to freely seek ways to develop his or her potentials. And letter D. Different people have different faculties. Hence, optimum development cannot be achieved by everyone. And your answer here, number 7, should be letter C. The person's responsibility to freely seek ways to develop his or her potentials. Having faculties, intellect and will, means taking responsibility to grow and contribute meaningfully wherever you are. So A, B, and D. So this minimize and they minimize individuals' active role in development. So yung number 7 is letter C. Number 8. What type of conscience judges what is good as good and what is evil as evil? Letter A is scrupulous conscience. Letter B, partially true conscience. Letter C, true conscience. And letter D, lacks conscience. Your answer here should be the true conscience. A true conscience is well-formed and makes sound moral judgments. Kaya importante sa values education yung tinatawag natin na formation of the will. Kasi the conscience should be formed para alam yung good as good and yung evil as evil. Yung scrupulous conscience, ibig sabihin nito, OA, not OA. It's judges too harshly. Meaning, kahit hindi siya masyadong mali, parang sobrang laki ng issue ng judgment, laki ng kasalanan, kahit hindi naman siya talaga kasalanan. So, scrupulous. OA. Yung letter B, partially true conscience, can be misguided. Yung letter D, lacks conscience, is indifferent or careless. Walang pakialam. So, it doesn't matter. Basta gagawin yung gusto niya. So, ang sagot dito sa number 8 is letter C, true conscience. Number 9, the human person is, in his or her moral dimension, must cultivate the value of letter A, self-worth, physical fitness, cleanliness, productivity. Your answer should be self-worth. Number 9 is letter A. Moral growth starts with valuing oneself, leading to respecting others. Yung B, C, and D are incorrect. So these are important but do not encompass moral growth as broadly as the self-worth. So yung sa letter B kasi physical fitness, sa sa physical dimension, and cleanliness, okay, and productivity. Number 9, letter A. Number 10, what is the basic premise in the development of the human being? Letter A, the human being's potential are means to development. Letter B, there is a supreme being more powerful than oneself. Letter C, the human being is endowed with faculties for optimum development. And letter D, the development of the human being is limitless. The answer here should be letter C. The human beings endowed with faculties for optimum development. Development stems or nagagaling from using natural gifts and faculties to grow, which everyone has. Yung A, B, and D, these are partial truths, not the foundational premise. So number 10 is letter C. Number 11. According to the philosophy of St. Augustine, which of the following statement is not true? Letter A. God created human beings in a mortal body with an immortal soul. B. God created human beings to be good, but the good in the human ceases when he or she turns himself or herself away from God. Letter C. A human being can attain human perfection if he or she keeps himself or herself away from God. And letter D, a human being is substantially a united body and soul. Your answer here should be letter C. A human being can attain human perfection if he or she keeps himself or herself away from God. So that's not true according to the philosophy of Saint Augustine. Augustine emphasized that closeness to God is essential for perfection because we are made by God and our hearts are restless until it rests in God. No? Ginawa tayo ng Panginoon. Kaya kung hindi tayo pupunta sa ating Maker, we will be restless for the rest of our lives. Nakakapagod maging restless and we will find rest in Him only. Sinabi rin niya ni Jesus sa gospel, di ba? Come to me, all who labor and you who are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. Number 11 is letter C. Yung A, B, and D, they align with Augustine's teaching on unity of body and soul. Number 12, which of the following concepts best explains the descriptive meaning of morality? Excuse me. Morality is letter A, primarily concerned with practices not related to other persons, that's which these must be developed to certain rituals. Letter B, concerned primarily with sexual practices that are believed to be based on human nature. Letter C, put forward by a society or some other group, accepted by an individual or by the group. And letter D, concerned with practices that enable individuals to live as human beings. Your answer here should be letter D, concerned with practices that enable individuals to live as human beings. Morality ensures that human dignity is ensured, is protected, and humans are flourishing. Of course, morally. Yung A, B, and C, they limit morality to narrower scopes. So, number 12 is letter D. Number 13, which of the following is an indication of the human being's inclination towards spirituality? Letter A, becoming spiritual as one grows older. Letter B, satisfying one's material needs ahead of spiritual needs. Letter C, becoming a religious person. Letter D, elevating one's material self to spiritual self. Your answer here should be letter D, elevating one's material self to spiritual self. Bakit? Spiritual growth transcends material needs to find meaning. Diba? Kasi kung puro material, meaning is too shallow and we find meaning when we go beyond our material limitations. When we elevate our material self to spiritual self. Because we are the united body and soul. Yung A, B, and C, these are symptoms, not essence of spirituality. So number 13 is letter D. Number 14, which of the following situations best illustrates this statement? The greater the knowledge of a person, the greater is his or her responsibility. Letter A, the student has greater responsibility because he or she is the learner. Letter B, the teacher shares responsibility with the school principal when inside the classroom. Letter C, the teacher has greater responsibility than the student in the classroom. And letter D, both the teacher and the student assume great responsibility in the classroom. And your answers in number 14 should be letter C. The teacher has greater responsibility than the student in the classroom. So teacher's knowledge positions them to lead responsibly. So yung alam na mas maraming ang alam ni teacher. So she or he is in the position to lead responsibly. Yung A, B, and D, so this implies shared or lesser accountability. 14 is letter C. Number 15. What does the statement, one cannot give what he does not have, presuppose? No, you cannot give what you do not have. Nemo dat quod non habet. Letter A, the home is the primary source of basic values. Letter B, Facilitators of values must grow in their own personal total development and struggle to understand and apply what they teach. Letter C, the school has the sole responsibility to educate the youth. And letter D, values education is a lifelong process. So, what does it presuppose ng axiom na ito? Number 15, your answer should be facilitators of values must grow in their own personal total development and struggle to understand and apply what they teach. Bilis. Teachers must embody values they wish to impart. Kasi kung hindi tayo credible, we don't, have what we teach, it's difficult to convince our students to emulate or practice the values. So, we practice what we teach. We develop it, even we are limited. So, options A, C, and D, these are related but don't capture personal growth. Number 15 is letter B. Number 16. What level of mentality has been reinforced by a series of advertisements of consumer products that subscribe to subjective human satisfaction and gratification at the expense of moral values? Level of mentality. Letter A, liberalism. Letter B, collectivism. Letter C, hedonism. And letter D, subliminal perception. Your answer here, teacher, we are looking for level of mentality. It should be letter D, subliminal perception. Alam niyo, yung mga ads promoting pleasure-seeking without moral considerations, they reflect hedonism as a philosophy or way of life. However, the question is asking for a level of mentality. And for that reason, the answer is subliminal perception. This kind of perception or mental process lies below the level of our consciousness. Kaya nga, di ba? Subway sa ilalim ng lupa. Subterranean sa ilalim ng lupa. So, subliminal sa ilalim ng consciousness. So, yung unconsciousness, yung unconscious ka, tapos bigla ka na lang mapapakanta ng atin ang langhap, sarap. Mga ganyang advertisements, 'di ba? Ang target niyan ay manirahan sa subconscious natin para kahit tapos na yung marketing campaign ng specific company, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang nakasiksik sa utak natin. So, na LSS ka na. So, that means it is in the level of the subconscious. So, this is so powerful because our subconscious works even when we are unconscious, kahit natutulog, 'di ba? It's working. Kaya nga minsan yung mga nirepress natin na emotions or worries, binabaliwala natin tapos tinatapon na lang natin sa subconscious level natin. So minsan, lumalabas pag natutulog tayo, napapanaginipan natin. Bakit? Because our subconscious is powerful. And as values education teachers, we should be the first ones to benefit from the power of our subconscious or subliminal perception. How can we do that? Well, we can use, for example, the powerful motivating and affirming words to rewire our subconscious, rewire our brain. Kasi ang iba sa atin, pinaniwalaan na mahina tayo, hindi tayo magaling, hindi tayo mahusay. So, sa subconscious natin, yun na ang nangingibabaw na mentality. Nasa subconscious, nasa subliminal na siya. Now, to rewire our brains and reset our subconscious, we have to counter our beliefs by using affirmations. Halimbawa, 'di ba? So halimbawa, you tell yourself these words every morning. I am good, I am blessed, I am disciplined, I am healthy, I am focused, I am equipped, I am strong, I am capable, I am beautiful, I am organized, I am powerful. And if you are Christian, you can say that the Bible says about who you are. You can say, I am a masterpiece. I am forgiven. I am free. I am a child of the Most High God. And I will top the board exam. So, say this and declare these affirming words every morning because every fiber in your body, every tissue, every cell is listening to you, to your words. Your words are so powerful. So, be very, very careful what you tell yourself. So, please do yourself a favor and affirm yourself at least 3 minutes every day. And I'm telling you, your subconscious will be rewired and redirected to those words that you are saying every day. So, please do that. kahit hanggang sa board exam mo. Every day ha, every morning, I promise you that your mentality will change. Okay, so that's about subliminal perception. Number 16 is letter D. Number 17. Moral values are absolute when they, letter A, are universal, objective, and external. B, are relative and applicable only under certain conditions. Letter C, conform with the societal expectation. And letter D, are subordinated to one's conscience. So, number 17, your answer here should be letter A, universal, objective, and external. Okay? Kasi yung relative and applicable only under certain conditions, this is the opposite of absolute, subjective, cultural, and situational. So, number 17, it's letter A. Number 18. Which of the following statements is closely related to philosophy? People are born good. Letter A. The human capacity to do good is not that strong to fight evil. Letter B. There is basic goodness in every human being. Letter C. A person as he or she grows older would never deviate from doing good. Letter D. The evil that arises from society makes the individual good. So number 18, your answer here should be letter B. There is basic goodness in every human being. This aligns with the idea that goodness is innate but influenced by experiences. So habang tumatagal, lumalaki, na influensya ng kapaligiran, ng environment, so nagiging masama. So yung A, C, and D, these misinterpret or contradict the philosophy. So number 18 is letter B. Number 19, which one in Freud's structure of personality would have been acquired by a person who possesses moral principles? Letter A, id and ego, id, superego, and ego. Your answer should be letter C, superego, diba? The superego internalizes societal and moral norms that are guiding our moral behaviors. So, yung A, B, and D, so this represent less moral-driven aspects of personality, yung pleasure principle, reality principle, and the moral principles. So, superego, the moral principles. So, number 19 is letter C. Number 20, what does one lack when one finds it difficult to accept one's personal characteristics? A, self-awareness. B, self-disclosure. Letter C, self-affirmation. And letter D, self-discipline. Your answer should be, of course, let's start with the self-awareness. Because knowing oneself is the first step to acceptance and growth. Sabi nga ni Socrates, know thyself. So B, C, and D, these are outcomes of self-awareness, not the root issue. Okay, 20 is letter A. And that's the part 1 of set 5 of our Values Ed Majorship Enhancement Drills. Let's continue in the next video.